Hello everyone, today let's solve the problem number 1211, queries, quality and percentage, right? So what the question states here, you are given a table queries with the following columns. You can clearly see here queries table with the following columns. One is query name, result, position as well as rating, right? So query name and result is of the type varchar and position and rating is of the type integer. You can clearly see here, right? So query name is nothing but the name of the query, result is nothing but the result of the query, position is nothing but position of the result from 1 to 500 and rating is nothing but rating of the results from 1 to 5. So here what is the requirement? So what is our main goal here? So first thing here is query quality is average of the ratio between rating and position for each query name. Just keep this in mind. We will be discussing this one in the approach as well. So just keep this in mind. Query quality equals average of the ratio between rating and position for each query name. And poor query percentage equals percentage of queries with rating less than 3. So less than 3, just keep this in mind. Percentage of queries with rating less than 3 for each query name. And we have to round both values to 2 decimal places. So this is very important. They have clearly mentioned in the question, we have to round to 2 decimal places. We have to round both values to 2 decimal places. So here, this is fine. So this is the question basically, right? So I hope what we need to do is completely clear, right? Just give me a second here. In this case, we have the queries table, right? So we have the queries table here. In this case, we have dog and cat, right? Query name we have dog and cat. And so what we need to find here, query quality as well as the poor query percentage, right? Query quality as well as poor query percentage. That's what we need to find. So query quality is nothing but average of the ratio between rating and position for each query name, and poor query percentage is nothing but percentage of queries with a rating less than 3 for each query name. So here the quality is 2.5 and this one quality is 0.66. So here in this case it is 33.33, 33.33. This is fine. Poor query percentage we have to write less than 3. So here you can clearly see it is less than 3. Both are less than 3 here, 2.50 and 0.66, right? So here see, a dog queries quality is 5 plus 5 by 1 plus 5 by 2 plus 1 by 200 by 3. 2.50 we got here. This one, whatever we did, right? This one we are doing rating based on the rating. So this is fine. Cat queries quality equals 2 by 5 plus 3 by 3 plus 4 by 7 they have given. I have already mentioned this one formula, right? So this is overall 0.66. Cat queries poor query percentages 1 by 3 into 100 nothing but 33.33 in this case. You can clearly see here 33.33 in this case, right? So I hope this is completely clear. So that's what we need to find, poor query percentage along with the quality, that is less than 3 for the query name. Here we have dog and cat basically. So accordingly with the formula we will go. So that's what they have given. This is simple to understand, right? So I hope the question is completely clear. What we need to do is completely clear as well. First what we will do, let's discuss the approach, then let's write the query. First let's discuss the approach. So here the first step is we have to calculate the query quality, right? So let's calculate the query quality. Let's discuss this one. We have to compute or calculate the ratio between the rating as well as position for each row. For each row we have to do, right? We have to compute the ratio between rating and position for each row. So this is very important. So next let's find the average ratio of each query name. So that's what they have explained in this one as well, question as well. So during the explanation we have discussed the same thing, right? So let's compute the ratio between rating and position for each row and we will find the average ratio for each query name here. This is fine. So next let's discuss the second, let's move on with the second case here or second step here. So here we will count total queries for each query name. So we'll go with the count keyword. You would have already thought about this one. We will count total queries for each query name. For each query name we have to count the total queries. Accordingly with the formula we have to go, right? So for each query name, if you remember, we had dog 3 times and cat query name. So here we will count the queries for each query name, means this one for the dog and for the cat, right? So this is one query name dog and this is one cat query name. So we will count the total queries. Here in this case it is 3, in this case it is 3, right? So this is what we'll do. Next we have to count the poor queries, means rating less than 3. So poor percentage itself, what we need to this one, what we need to calculate. So we will be counting poor queries, nothing but rating less than 3 for each query name. So this is very important. So we will count the poor queries rating less than 3 for each query name. So let's divide the poor queries by total queries and multiply by 100. So we will divide the poor queries by total queries in this case. So this is very important. So we will divide the poor queries by total queries. This is poor queries by total queries. We have to accordingly with the formula. So we saw this one during the in the explanation as well. Same thing but it. So divide poor queries by total queries and we have to multiply by 100. That's how we got 33.33 for both, right? If you remember for the first example, the solution poor percentage, right? So that's how we calculated. So finally let's move on with the third step here. We have to format the output, means we will round both values to 2 decimal places. So this is very important. We will round both values to 2 decimal places. This is what they have asked in the question. So we have to round both values to the 2 decimal places and then finally return the result in any order. So we can return the result in any order. Order doesn't matter here, right? So just keep this in mind. Round both values to 2 decimal places. They have strictly asked in the question and we will return the result in any order. So here you would have already guessed we will be making use of the round keyword that is provided by SQL. So count and round will be making use of. So I hope the total approach is completely clear. Now let's try to implement or articulate the same thing in the form of query. Let's start writing the query. So now let's start writing the query. The first step we discussed was we have to calculate the total quality and the poor query count for each query name. So I'll start with keyword here. So just give me a second here. With, we have made use of quality data, right? So this one will be quality data as, this is fine. So first we have to calculate the total quality and the poor query count for each query name. So let's go with select here. Select what are all the things that we need to select here. First thing, I'll select query name and we have to go with the formula average. So this is the formula. So this one is average of cache rating as float. Yeah, this is fine. By position as quality. This is fine. Next we have to go with the sum here. This is fine. Case when this one poor percentage will, this has to be, rating has to be less than 3, right, to calculate the poor percentage. So this one with when rating less than 3, we SQL provides case as well as when keyword, so we can go with that. Rating less than 3 and we can just go with then 1 else 0 and we will put the end keyword here. So this is fine. So this is correct, right? Then 1 else 0, this is end. Yeah, this is fine. As we will go with poor query count, poor underscore query underscore count. So this is fine. Next we have to count, we have to make use of the count, right? So we have to count. In this case I'll be just going with count star as total underscore query underscore count. So this is coming from queries table. You can clearly see this is coming from this table, right? So let me write here from queries and we are grouping by query name, right? So we are grouping by query name. So this one. So let's make use of the group by clause here. Group by query underscore name. This is fine. group by query name. So this is the first step. Let's go with the second step now. So we have to compute, or we have to calculate the final results with rounding, right? Rounding means, so we have to round off to 2 decimal places. That's what they have given in the question, right? So that's what we'll be doing here. Let's compute the final results with rounding. So let me go with the select keyword, query underscore name, comma. So here this will be round off quality, comma, to this is fine as quality. This is fine. So the next step here is, let's go with the round here. This is fine. Poor query count into 100. This is fine. By what was the formula? Total query count, right? So this will be total query count. So we have to round off to 2 decimal places. So I'll just give the integer 2 here. This is fine. As we are considering this one, this is poor query percentage, right? I'll just go with as poor underscore query underscore percentage. So the final step is, this is coming from the quality data. So this is coming from quality data, right? So where is this one? Quality data I have given here, I think somewhere. Just give me a second. Yeah, this is coming from the quality data itself. So I'll just give here from quality data. So this is it for the query. Let me hit the run button. So here you can clearly see the sample test case is getting passed. Means query works absolutely correct. Let's check whether it works for all the test cases or not. Let me hit the submit button. So here one case is failing, right? So 12 out of 13 test cases are getting passed. One case is failing. Let's see what we have done wrong here. So what mistake I have done here is, here sometimes cast doesn't work here. Whatever I have given here, average of cast of rating as float here. So float keyword, I think we don't have to make use of the float. So here we have to go with the float division, no doubt. We have to go with the float division. We don't have to make use of float keyword, I think. So we can just go with average of rating into 1.0 by position. So that also we can do. So here I'll do one thing. Let me delete this one, average of this one. Just give me a second. This one I'll just give, instead of that I'll just go with rating into 1.0. So here rating into 1.0 by position as quality I have given. What we are doing here, and this one we are forcing the float division. In this case we are forcing the float division. That's what we are doing. So this is very important, right? So that's what we are doing. Let me hit the run button. So I hope this works. Let's see. Have an error. Where? Have an error in the SQL query syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your. So sum of case when rating less than 3. Just let's check what is wrong. So yeah, this is not required actually. Cast, this one is not required here. Let me delete this one entirely. So this one rating into 1.0 by position as quality, right? So let me hit the run button here. So I hope this works. Let's see. So here you can clearly see the sample test case is getting passed. So let me hit the submit button quickly. So I hope this works for all the test cases. Let's see. So yeah, you can clearly see here all the test cases are getting passed. Means the query that we have written works completely correct on this case, right? So I hope whatever query that we have written is completely clear. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.